Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to Ritesh ji and as well as all the participants who are attending this webinar. So this is Dr. Neha from SIIC IIT Kanpur. So today here we are to attend the webinar, and this webinar will definitely motivate innovators, students, and others also to begin their journey into the entrepreneur field. So basically, we are here to discuss more about 5G 6G scenario in India. So with the initiative of Start in UP, we have got opportunity to establish 5G 6G Center of Excellence at SIIC IIT Kanpur. So today with us, speaker of webinar is Mr. Ritesh Agarwal. He is co-founder as well as CEO of TechFosys, and he has over 20 years of experience working with the industries such as Yugt Software, Arisen, Altrin, and he has really very good expertise in the wireless communication background. So today we are going to listen Mr. Ritesh Agarwal. And Ritesh, now stage is all yours.
Yeah, thanks, Neha, for the warm welcome. So welcome everyone. We'll be today, I'll be sharing my experiences, of my journey of, establishing a deep tech startup in India, and we'll be talking about briefly about the company. But I'll be stressing more time on the challenges that we faced at every stage and how did we overcome all these challenges to come out as a winner in this space. So let me share my deck. So we'll go through the deck first, and then at the end of the session, it will be open for your questions. Any questions or any clarifications you may need, we will try to answer as many possible within the session. Otherwise, if some are left, then we will definitely get back to you over an email later. So, motivation to product, a deep tech startup journey. So let me start this session, by giving some facts and figures on startups. The right side are the global facts and figures, and left side is more on India. So let me start with the global side. So overall, globally, we have around 150 million startups. There are 1,200 unicorn startups globally. So that's a very very big number. So you can see the rush in this space that has happened in the last 1 or 2 decades. So today's Metas, Googles, and Amazons were yesterday's startups. They also started as a startup, and it has been seen that startups with two or more founders have better chance of success compared to a single founder. This is an empirical fact, that has been taken out looking at a lot of data. And yes, there are downside as well. So around 1 in 5 startups fail in the first year itself. So there is around 20% failure rate in year one, and then in later years as well. But this 20% failure rate is a huge. So that also tells us that before taking this step, we have to see a lot of things, and we have to ensure that when we have decided, to go towards to make a startup, it has to be supported by a very die-hard passion. So talking about India, so we have seen a lot of people interested in startups in the last few years. India now ranks third on the global startup map. As per DPIIT, there are 1.57 lakh registered Indian startups, and they have generated 17.28 lakh employment. So this is a major thumbs up, on startup side, because startups, generate employment in the country. An Indian startup of 1968 has a market cap of INR 12 trillion today. This company is called TCS. So yeah, every big company today started with a startup. So next 2 3 slides, I will cover more from Techforces. I'll give a view to you all about Techforces. What is Techforces? What do we do? So the company is into private 5G solutions and innovation labs. It's a B2B business, business to business. We registered the company in September 2023. Domain is deep tech. The market is private networks as well as labs. Market size is is debatable, but I have gone through multiple reports which suggest a CAGR of 54% in this market to reach a value of USD 100 billion by the year 2033. Different reports will give different figures, but yeah, this figure I have taken out by reading some of those reports. So we are a leading deep tech innovator in wireless communication technology, specializing in advanced 5G private network solutions, innovation labs, 6G, and AI innovations. The company is led by communication industry veterans. I am the CEO and co-founder, and my partner Mangal is the CEO and co-founder. We both have more than 2 decades of experience working in top MNCs in this space, starting from Hughes, Arisent, Altran, Capgemini, and Redisys. When we wanted to start this company, we have taken some of the best brains in the wireless industry, who have been experts on 4G, 5G, and that's how we started. And then we augmented the team with junior engineers, and that's how Techforces came into being. It has been a strong journey last 15 months. Our real work started from April last year, though we had registered in September in 2023. So in last 15 months, we have done good enough work. We have created 5G RAN and core solutions. These are basically for private network industries like Industry 4.0, defense, enterprises, niche markets. We have been helping multiple OEMs in building stable, robust, high-performance 5G and AI solutions. We are working on high-speed UPF solution for 5G core, speeds of terabyte. And we have also created innovative AI applications like Video Fusion. In addition to the industry solutions, we also offer innovation labs. So we have done innovation labs and centers of excellence for enterprises and academia. We have also built a search and rescue application using 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G. So these applications are used for public safety, disaster management kind of scenarios. And today we have signed NDAs, MOUs with more than 50 plus enterprises. We are a member of all these strategic alliances: Bharat 6G Alliance, iOS MCN, TSDSI, Voice, and TEPC. These alliances are all India specific. Yeah. So coming to the stages, of a startup. So if you look at a startup, it typically starts with the motivation phase. So this is the phase when the founders, really think about, is it worthy, to do a startup, or do we have strong motivation enough to do it? Because it's difficult to come out of the comfort zone. Like for myself, I have been in a leadership role in multinational companies, and everything was good. But the urge, to do something for the country, and to create employment made me take the plunge. So from year 2017 to 2020, this was mainly, uh, to identify what is the motivation, and exploring is the motivation deep enough. Then once we had decided that yes, we will do it, the next 2 years, were for ideation stage. So there were a lot of ideas, that we had. But then, we came to the drawing board. We discussed each and every idea, did market survey, and find out, whether the idea will turn into a sustainable business in India. So we did a lot of brainstorming. We talked to a lot of people, potential clients, partners, and then we finally fine tuned on the idea that we will go ahead with. So in 2023, we launched this company, TechForces. After launch, we were all deeply focused on building the prototypes. So a prototype is like a half cooked product, or it's like a alpha product, which is typically 30% to 70% of the product uh, that is there, and you do it for reducing risk, to get market validation, market feedback. So the first half of 2024 went into that, and then in the second half, then we introduced our product offerings. And yes, now we have around 15 clients for our products. So it has been, a long journey till date, but it has been a very fulfilling journey as well. So let me now take the challenges, one by one. So the first and foremost is the motivation. So everyone, may have a different kind of a motivation. I have listed down some motivations here, that people might have. One obvious motivation is passion for innovation. You want to innovate something, you want to create something new. That's a motivation for a lot of us. Then desire to make a positive impact. You want to do something, to create a positive impact in the society, in the country, globally. That acts as a motivation. Pursuit of wealth. Yes, wealth is always there. Sometimes it is your prime goal. Sometimes it's a side goal, but definitely some portion of wealth pursuit is always there. Desire for independence. Some people also have this desire that they want to do something of their own. They want to work. They don't want to work for other companies. They want to work for their own company. Then creating IPR product. So, and that too for India. So this is again, big motivation that you want to create IP, you want to create a product which is indigenous, you want to create a product made in India and sell to the global market. Some people like challenges, so that is also a motivation for many. And finally, the urge to build something. So these are, and there may be more, but these are the most common motivations that people have. My motivation has been three. One was developing products for India. So all this while, in my more than 2 decade of experience, I work for multinational companies. So most of the employees, everyone almost was Indian. The work was done in India, but still the IPR or the product was made in different countries. So this used to pinch me a lot, and it was a deep ambition that I will make products for India. And then finally, that was my motivation in starting TechForces. Creating employment was the next biggest motivation. I wanted to do something so that we can create employment in the country, and I hope this will also encourage a lot of other people as well, to do same and create more employment for the country. And finally, building an organization which is India, and then selling globally. The next challenge, or yeah, after motivation, the first challenge you can say is the idea in the target market. So, how do you define the idea and the target market? So, idea should be based on solving a real life problem for a target segment. This is very important. We may have, lots of good ideas, but unless the idea is really solving a real life problem, that may not remain attractive for a long time. So you have to look for ideas which are solving a real life problem. Obviously, for a target segment, it might not be, for a very large segment, but yeah, even if you can think of something for a target segment, I think that is good. Then you have to define the target market and evaluate its size. You have to look at the market, whether the market is big enough, to pursue that idea. Does the market have and the competition, and there is space for one more person, or the market doesn't have competition and it's a new market? So all these thought uh, processes have to be taken into consideration. We have to articulate the solution clearly. We have to clearly define the solution, what exactly our solution will do. How will that solution solve the real life problem? And of course, a lot of market research has to be done. For tech forces, our target markets are private networks. The problem we are solving in private networks is that these networks need privacy, security, mobility, specific feature set, and complete control, which obviously not is not possible from public networks. In public networks, you don't have any control. The security also is limited. You don't have privacy because it's a public network. Everyone is on it. So definitely, there is a big case for a private network. For innovation labs, the problem is that innovation labs are required with highly cost-effective solution for industry and academia, which should expedite education, innovation, and employment. So this is the problem we are trying to solve with innovation labs. With IDEA, you also have to define a vision. A vision is typically a concise, impactful, aspirational goal that the startup wants to achieve in the long term. Our vision is to use technology for the benefit of mankind. The vision is generally an aspirational thought. It is not exactly related to what you're doing, but it is for the longer term. How do you want to see yourself creating value over 5, 10, 20 years? So that's how the vision comes into picture. So after the idea, it comes the right team. The right team can make or break a startup. It's one of the most important challenge. You have to be very careful while defining the team. You have to identify the roles and the right skill set, select people aligned with roles, the startup vision. You have to take a team that aligns well with the startup vision. The team should have senior architects and engineers. Obviously, a startup can't hire a lot of senior people, so you have to take people as part time, and then maybe junior engineers you can take full time. That is one of the ways to handle it. Because in startups you will not have a lot of money like big corporations uh, to start your journey. Build a positive culture. Build a very positive culture. Build culture of collaboration, teamwork, supportive. All people should be supported to each other, and make learning as the key objective. In your startup. So a right team only can make the right success in the startup. Then comes the launch. Yes, plethora of registrations. There are so many these three-letter Greek words that you have to cater to. Most of them, you haven't encountered in your life. So yeah, this is the first time you may be seeing them. So there are a lot of things that you have to do: legal, financial compliance, digital signatures, bank account, identification of a CA, membership of consortiums, membership of statutory bodies, acquire necessary licenses, comply with tax and accounting regulations. So obviously, lot of stuff, and founders should be prepared to spend a very large amount of time on these bookkeeping tasks. So these are the baggage, that you get along with starting a startup. In fact, for initial few months, I could hardly spend time on the real stuff, and I was so much, bogged down by these, bookkeeping tasks. And that's same for every founder. So next comes the prototype, which is a preliminary version of the product designed to test an idea and take feedback before building the full-scale product. The key aspects are validation, feedback, visualization. So you use this prototype to validate the market, to validate your idea in the market, to get feedback from your potential clients and partners, to actually see how will the final product look like. Visualization. For software, it can be a GUI. For hardware, it can be the real box that you'll be building. So prototyping is very important because this gives you a good idea, and you can take corrective actions to align the product to the market. Because once the product is built, you have already invested a lot, and then if you get such feedback after the product is launched, that will result into major losses. So this is an important step in the overall journey, and you should really use it to take real feedback from clients, partners, your well-wishers, your finders, um, and distributors. The benefits are, it helps you to validate, it reduces risk, and it makes your time faster to market. We also did software prototypes for 5G and tested with quad servers and desktop machines. We created GUI controller applications, took feedback from multiple partners. We invited potential clients and discussed the alignment of prototypes with their requirements. Yes, so finally, we come to the product. So we have two kind of products. The first product is a network in a box. So this is Techforce's, made in India, commercial grade, white label, integrated 5G indoor small cell solution with the zero touch configuration. So we have two products in this category. One is the indoor small cell and other is the outdoor small cell. In this product, we have integrated 5G RAN, 5G core, and IMS. So this small box gives you the entire 5G network. So you don't need any other node along with this. And this can help you to create ad hoc networks, very quickly. It's an ideal solution for defense, mining, public safety, railways, airports, logistics, factories. These are the technical specs of the solution that we have mentioned here. It's based on Qualcomm FSM 20056 platform, and it uses an NXP and an NPU LX2160, and it gives up to 100 megahertz bandwidth. The next product is an innovation lab. So this is a live 5G network that we create, as part of these labs. So we offer this entire lab as a product, and we have already supplied this lab to around 8 to 10 clients in India. Most of them are top academic institutes and some industry guys. In this, the machine that you are seeing is running the 5G RAN and 5G core software. Then there is a commercial 7.2 radio. There is a controller application running on the monitor. You have a keyboard, a mouse, and you have two real 5G phones where we put our test SIMs, and that becomes a real 5G network. It supports voice, data, video, everything. And for institutes, we also offer the source code, for this lab. So that's a major differentiation. And we are right now partnered with most of the premium academic institutes in India, and we are setting up these labs and centers of excellence, at these places. Creating differentiation, USP. Of course, no, you will not be alone in the market. So differentiation of the solution is very, very important, is key in order to make your solution sellable. For network in a box, our main differentiation is it's a made in India NIB having 5G RAN, 5G core, and IMS all together in a single box. It's highly cost competitive. There is a broad usage across vertical industries. So same solution can go into different industries. We support different bandwidths, different spectrums. And that's how, we can cater to different vertical industries requirements. This can also be put on a drone for connectivity from air. This is something we are right now in progress. We are testing it over a drone so that, the connectivity can be done through a drone as well. The innovation labs, these innovation labs are open. These are highly, highly innovative. They power education, innovation, and employment. We offer source code for RAN and core. We also take deep tech workshop for the industry and the institute, who takes this lab, so that we basically take them through the technology, the different nodes, their source code, the code walkthrough. So we do everything. The intent is to make the researchers, the innovators, get familiar with the source code, and they are able to make changes. They are able to make new additions. They are able to make changes to 5G technology, and they are able to create use cases on top of 5G technology. Yes, the first customer. Obviously, this is a very challenging task for any startup. A startup, doesn't have a case study for your first customer. You only have a story. First customer means like, you have built something which you feel will sell. But finally, whether the customer will buy it or not, you will get to know only once you meet your first customer. So a very important aspect for a startup. Since you can't show a purchase order, you create your credentials by showing list of your partners, NDAs, MOUs signed. Now you have to create credibility in front of your first customer. Obviously, you don't have a purchase order or a contract to show him. So you can show him, your long list of partners. So when you enter the industry, you have to spend initial 6 months to 1 year, building relationships. You have to create your partners. You have to create, your application guys, who will be working together with you, who will be selling your solutions, who are interested to work with you. And you can show, your agreements, with all these players and partners in order to create your credibility. Founders network and contacts is the most important here. So the first customer or the second customer generally is seen comes through founders, personal connects. So this is very important. So before starting, a startup, you need to ensure that the founders have the right set of connects, in order to get your first customer. And if you don't have, then maybe you have to delay your startup idea, and you have to first create that connections and create that relationships. You have to make a compelling pitch, clearly articulating your value proposition. Network and build relationships through industry events, conferences, digital marketing. Finally, the bet will be on the combination of product, team, and founders. So whosoever will be your first customer, he will come to you because of your founders, because of the team, and because of the product, all three together. They will not see just one of these, they will see all of these. And consider the deal as start of relationship and not the end of transaction. So many people think that, okay, once the deal is done, so yes, it is the end of transaction. But I take it differently. I take it as the start of relationship, because now you have got a customer, and you have to maintain, you have to nourish the customer so that the customer retains with you. TechForces got initial few clients through Founders Connect. So our initial connects, from our previous lives, helped us, to get the initial few customers for the company. Mantra to success: collaboration. So in today's dynamic world, there are no permanent partners and no permanent competitors. See, the world is today so dynamic. One who is your partner today may become your competitor tomorrow. And who is your competitor today may become your partner tomorrow. So, you should always keep this in mind. And my advice is you should always find a way to collaborate with everyone. A sustainable relationship is one that benefits all the members. So if you're doing some business, with a partner, you ensure that, the business benefits both you and the partner. In case, you ensure that the benefit only comes to you and give a hard deal to the partner will go away and he'll not be there for you the second time. So to sustain the relationship, you have to ensure the relationship should benefit both of you. Be open and try to collaborate with as many companies as possible. We strongly believe in collaboration at TechForces, both internally and externally. So internal collaboration is excellent for teamwork and can bring astonishing results. All our team, does excellent collaboration internally. I'm proud of my team. And even externally, we try to collaborate. And this collaboration sometimes help transform even your competitors into your partners. So that's a very important point. You should, all the startup enthusiasts should keep in mind. Marketing, make your presence felt. Sure, you can't leave marketing. And startup marketing is very different. It needs a very creative and adaptable approach. A startup doesn't have a lot of money. So you have to find out ways of cost effective and impactful marketing so that you can create your credibility. Obviously, you have to build a brand, unique identity and messaging. You have to create a logo, you have to create a message, and you have to keep it unique across all your external messaging. And then for cost effective marketing, you can do digital marketing, and you can participate in industry events and trade shows, conferences, and targeted tech days. How do you measure success? So for a startup, a client order will not come easily. Normally, we measure success with a client order, but that doesn't happen easily with a startup. So how do we measure success? How do I feel that, yes, today was a good day? When I go to sleep today, I should feel that, yes, I have done enough for today so that I have driven the company in the forward direction. So let's understand the client order process. So first of all, this is not a single step. This is a long process and it has multiple steps. So, I have just listed down some steps. There can be more. Every client relationship can be different. So it starts with the initial contact. For getting the initial contact, you have to do a lot of stuff. It can be either through a personal connect, or it can be through some marketing event, or it can be through a partner, or something else. Once you have the initial contact, you try for an intro call with the customer. The customer may say yes or no. If the customer says yes, it's a success. Then you in the call, you once he readies for a call, you give a technical pitch. The customer may or may not like the pitch. If the customer likes the technical pitch, it's a success. If the customer asks you, okay, send me a proposal, that's another success. Once you send the proposal, if the customer stops taking your calls, that can happen. But if the customer takes your call, that's a success. If you are calling him multiple times, and sometimes you may have to call him for weeks or for months, but you have to do these follow-ups. And if the customer is taking your calls, that means he is interested. If the customer asks you that he wants to negotiate, that's a success. If the customer then after negotiation tells you, okay, he may tell you, okay, no, this doesn't work, I'm going with someone else. But if he asks you to send a final quotation, that's a success. Now, for after the final quotation, if the customer asks you to come on the table and discuss terms and conditions, that's a success, because that means he's interested to move forward. Then, his client budget, he puts it for his own budget approval. It may or may not happen. If it happens, that's a success. And finally, once you get the client order, obviously it's a success. But it's not a single success. It's a collection of all these successes, come together. So when you are measuring success, don't just measure a client order. You should measure each and every stage in the client order as a success. So many people ask me, what keeps you ticking? Because startup journey is lots of ups and downs, and there are more bad days than good days. So many people ask me this question. So for this, answer may be different for everyone. Basically, for founders, what I have seen generally, money is not the only yardstick. In fact, money is always a byproduct in order to attain your passion or motivation for starting the company. In our case, our motivation was developing Indian products for the global market. So this gives us a lot of satisfaction that we are building for India market. We are building in India for the global market, and so on. This is a very big, point that keeps us ticking. Creating employment, as I told earlier, and building a global organization. So every day, before going to bed, if I look back the day, these are the things, that keeps me ticking. Then funding, we can't leave that. a very important aspect of a startup. So if we see the stages of a startup, it starts with the ideation phase. It does prototyping, it does market validation or test. Once all these things are done, then you start getting clients and your growth phase start. So you would see that your curve rises very steeply in the growth phase. And after growth phase, you go to expansion phase and then you go to a maturity phase. And growth phase, can be different for different. It can be few years, it can be 5 years, it can be 10 years, it can be 20 years, depending upon the kind of organization and how, you are expanding your organization, you can really extend your growth phase. So people take funding in different stages. Some people take at the ideation stage itself, some at prototyping, some at market validation, some growth, expansion, and so on. And there are different, forms of, options: bootstrapping, incubators, angels, grants, venture capitals, business loans, crowdfunding. So in case of Tech Forces, it was bootstrapped. So we didn't take any external funding. One major reason was, if you do external funding at ideation level, you have to dilute a lot of stake. We didn't want to do that, so we bootstrapped it. Now the company has passed the idea, prototype, product, market, and validation phases. We have 15 active customers till date. And now for our expand or our growth phase, we are now looking for investment. So we didn't take any investment till now, but yes, now we are at a point we are comfortable. Market has accepted us. We have 15 customers. They are active. We are getting repeat orders. And now we are looking for investment to expedite our growth phase. The risk curve for a startup, it reduces drastically, as you, go from one stage to other. So at the initial ideation phase, risk is 100%, but it drastically comes down. It is said that once the customers reach double digits for a startup, the risk comes down drastically, because that ensures that, market has accepted the product and now the startup has to really grow and expand. So the last slide, my advice to startup enthusiasts. So startup has a rough journey. Don't start unless you are convinced that you have die-hard motivation. So my biggest advice is, don't look at others and start a company because someone else is doing it or someone else is successful and you also do it. It doesn't work that way. 9 startups out of 10 fail. That's, the empirical result. Only 10% of these startups succeed in the long run. So you could see the failure rate is very, very high. So don't get into starting a startup just by looking at others or just by copying others. You should look for a startup seriously enough only if you have die-hard motivation. When you do a startup, there will be hundreds of times, when you will get negative results, and maybe there are only few times when you will get positive results. So you have to be strong enough, and you should have good amount of investment, in order to do that, in order to take that risk. Otherwise, many people end up, losing hard-earned money or hard-earned, personal investments. So be very careful on this. You would have more bad days than good days, and you should be ready for it. Finally, what I have seen, your deep passion and perseverance are the two top traits that are must for founders. There will be a lot of negative stuff in your journey, but if you think you can do, and you have the right investment, you have the right talent, and you have the right product, plus deep passion and perseverance, then yes, you can make it happen. Enjoy the startup journey. Don't just keep waiting for the destination. So many of the startups also, just think, okay, once we do this, then we will, will be happy. Once we do that, once we have the first customer, we'll be happy. Once we have 10 customers, we'll be happy. Once we have 50 customers, we'll be happy. So, these can be different for different guys. My suggestion is just enjoy the journey. Once you have taken the plunge to do a startup, just enjoy the journey. Every step in a startup is very, very important, and more important than the destination itself. The destination may be anything. So thanks a lot for your time today. And with this, we end the session. And Neha, can you please open the session
Please,
for questions?
thank you, Ritesh, for your very nice presentation. And we are like ready to take the questions. So here is one of the participant. Mr. Ram, please ask your question. Hello, Mr. Ram, are you available? I guess he's not able to listen us. Ram, you are on mute. Okay, anybody else who's having question, you can like ask. So Charles is here. He'll be asking questions to Ritesh. Please, Charles, you can ask now.
Hello, hi Ritesh.
Yeah, hi, Charles.
Yeah, so thank you for this wonderful session and walking us through your startup journey, especially in Tech Forces. It was really inspiring.
Thank you, Charles.
Yeah, so my question is in the landscape of 5G, and of course going forward 6G. So, what do you think are the major, uh, say, challenges that are there in this ecosystem? And what more needs to be done going forward? So I would just like to listen to your thoughts being a startup in that particular ecosystem.
Sure. Thanks, Charles. That's a very important question. So we have multiple challenges. Every industry, every domain has it. So in 5G also, we have multiple challenges. I think one major challenge in India, if I talk about India, is we don't have a private spectrum. So unlike other countries, so if you look at all the countries, most of the countries globally, like Japan, like Korea, US, countries in Europe, in other countries in Asia, they have two spectrums. One spectrum is for the public operators, whose main purpose is to connect the population of the country, through connectivity. That is their main target. And then there is second net spectrum available for private networks. Now, private networks is using 5G for expediting the industry or expediting the defense, expediting the railways. So private network is always domain specific or industry specific. So they have different players. The national operators, deal with the public networks, and then multiple players deal with the private networks. In Japan, it is known as local 5G. In US, it is called CBRS band, and so on. In India, we don't have that local spectrum, and right now we are putting a lot of stress. We are in discussions with the government, Department of Telecom. We are putting a lot of stress on the government that yes, we need support here to have this spectrum, because once this spectrum is there, it creates a lot of innovation. So a lot of players will come forward who will be building solutions for private networks. And that is where major money lies, because in public networks they are already saturated, they are already there. And since their main focus is basic connectivity, all the innovation and stuff, they generally happens uh, at the private network level. So like defense will say, okay, I need very specific application, but I need complete control over my network. So a private network is ideal for defense. It's ideal for railways. for Industry 4.0, and so on. So this is one point. The second point is deep tech skilling. So, see, for innovation to happen, you need to give the right skills to the youth community in the country. Now, in our institutes, we are not teaching 5G as a subject. We only teach computer networks, wireless communication. We only teach the broader subjects, but we don't teach them 5G or 6G. So these have not gone into the curriculum inside. That also creates a hindrance because so like my industry experience, even when we used to take people from the top institutes, we had to train them at least for 6 months before they could start doing something on 5G. So I think this is the second most important point, that we have to really do a lot of stress on. Either we have to create deep tech skilling centers within these institutes, or we have to create these centers outside the institutes. But somehow we have to do it. So hope this answers your question, Charles.
Uh, yes, Riches. So I see that there are 2 points that you made. That is 5G private networks and deep tech skilling is what you see. These are the areas that we need to work upon.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ritesh.
Rishabh, do you want to have any question?
Yeah, hi. First of all, thank you so much for, giving me this opportunity to ask this question. And Ritesh, it was a very nice and detailed which you gave today. My doubt is regarding it's to Neha and team actually. That what are the offerings which an innovator working in 5G 6G domain can expect in Center of Excellence at IIT Kanpur, and when you will be accepting the application, because right now it's closed.
Okay, so to answer your first question, the offering COE will be providing is we'll be giving mentor support, like technical support and business aspect support to all the innovators who wanted to begin developing their idea into the product. Secondly, we are going to give funding support even since started like their journey. In fact, when it comes to testing their products, and if somebody wants to like validate their developed prototypes, so that also we will be helping them in getting those things tested with the equipments present with us. And if high level or advanced equipments they wanted to access, we are also going to talk to industries in order to get those high level equipments accessible to the startups. Also, we will be providing co-working spaces for the startups. And definitely at the end, we will also be providing investors connects to the startups. So in order to grow into the market when their prototype is fully fledged and they are ready to like go to the market. So these are the basic offerings that we will be providing. And Rishabh, your second question, like for tomorrow, from tomorrow, we are like going to open another phase of applications. And from tomorrow onwards, we'll be taking the new applications for the Center of Excellence as well.
I wanted to ask that can an idea level innovator who doesn't have a startup right now or is going to incorporate a startup in upcoming days can apply for it? And what would be the exact funding amount for him?
Yes, like a student or whoever is having an idea and they wanted to like build their idea, so they can they are like they have a very good opportunity, they can apply into it. And definitely if they don't have company, so after 2 months we are expecting that they should like register their company with their ideas. So this is
Okay,
basic
and
criteria.
what is the funding amount?
Funding amount for idea stage, for like innovators, it is 4 lakhs per year. And the startups who are having prototype ready with them, for them we'll be giving almost 6 lakhs per year.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Neha.
Thank you, Rishabh, for your kind questions. Anybody else? Ritesh is here to take your questions if somebody wants to ask. Okay, so I guess, Ritesh, we are done with all the questions. Okay, so Mr. Ram is back. So yes, Ram, you can like have your question.
Thank you, ma'am. It is a very nice presentation, and we got an overall insight about the deep tech startup in wireless domain. Myself, Ganapati Ram, faculty at National Engineering College, Kovilpatti, Thuthukudi, and also founder of the startup Cognia Technology Private Limited. So, sir, can you please provide some details how we can connect you for collaborations regarding establishment of 5G lab at the institute?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, you can reach me. You can reach me through multiple ways. Our website is there. Otherwise, I will pass on my email ID. It's ritesh.agarwal@techforces.com.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, RITESH, Ritesh dot
Okay, sir.
Agarwal, AGGARWAL, Ritesh Agarwal at techforces.com.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Surely we will connect you, sir. Sir, madam, and one more thing regarding the startup having the prototype on IoT domain, will you do any kind of fund support to scale it up, ma'am?
Like in case of you are saying somebody is in IoT domain, so it would be preferable if you show some use case into 5G, 6G domain, because this COE is specifically designed for the startups who are working in 5G, 6G networks. So it would be better if you show any use case of your prototype into 5G, 6G or wireless communication.
Okay, ma'am. What is the
Otherwise, okay,
funding amount for
yes.
prototype to product conversion, ma'am? What is the minimum?
So, regarding funding, as I have mentioned already, for idea stage EIRs, we will be providing 4 lakhs per year. And for the MVP stage, who is having prototype, we'll be giving 6 lakhs per year. And if you have a IoT based idea, you can like really go to mighty schemes as well.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, Ram. So, Mr. Dwivedi is there who wanted to ask question. So yes, Mr. Dwivedi, you can go and ask your question. Ritesh is here.
Yeah, I have put my question in the question and answer session. Just I Ritesh, just I wanted to know that are you working on any use case pertaining to the railway applications?
Um, uh, yeah, yeah, hello. So right now we are not working on the use case, but we are under discussion. So for railways, there are certain use cases which can very well be maintained by private 5G. One is, railways are currently on, 20-year-old Tetra technology. which is narrowband. So you can only have, you can only have basic voice and some low bit data. You can't have broadband there. So that is one use case that you replace Tetra. If you replace Tetra with 5G, private 5G, then you convert it into a broadband network, which can, you can do voice, video, everything for the railway. This is,
Yeah.
I'm talking about railway signaling, not the people, who are using the railways, but for the railway signaling. This is one. Then secondly, another use case is, all the video cameras installed, which are there installed in the railways or in metros, they are right now operating in offline mode. So they are basically running, and then they are collecting data, and then someone goes through that data in offline mode once their train reaches a particular station. So that is also offline, which has its own disadvantages, because sometimes you need to uh, do the surveillance in real time. So that is another use case which can be easily managed by a private 5G solution.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because why I was asking this question is that you have rightly identified this replacement of Tetra application, because I am retired principal chief signal and telecommunication engineer from railways. And uh, we are basically working for, you might have heard that NCRTC has already introduced this LTE on the CBTC on the LTE. And basically I am working on this basically converging this Tetra and CBTC communication to the one mode of communication, so that at least one system can take care of both CBTC as well as this Tetra voice communication and data communication. So nice to hear you, and I understand that in future I will be able to connect with you.
Yeah, sure. So please do connect with us. We
Yeah.
can explore, how can we, take this forward. Yeah.
Yeah, because the field is quite wide. There
Yeah.
are a lot of huge application. Yeah.
And it's
Thank you so much.
a major change. If this change
Yes.
can happen, it will have a very open, very, very big business, for
Yes.
the private 5G industry into railways.
Yeah. I'm working on that. I will connect with you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
sure.
much.
Please do that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ritesh sir and Dwivedi sir. I hope the session was very insightful and we got to know more about 5G, 6G, COE. So I hope this session was helpful to all the participants. And Dr. Neha and I would like to now conclude this session. Thank you, all the participants, for joining us. Thank you, Ritesh sir, for giving an insightful session.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Anushri, and the entire team. Thank you, all the participants.
Thank you so much, Ritesh, for joining.
Thank you.